This is a really exciting topic for me, and I'm so happy to be here today. I've actually been teaching help desk analysts for the better part of the past 12 years in some way or another, and during that time, I really have learned a lot about how to effectively prepare individuals to work as help desk professionals. In particular, I've learned that there really is no single secret to training great help desk professionals. There's not one thing that I could teach someone that would turn them into a superstar on the help desk. On the contrary, I found that there are a lot of components that contribute to their effectiveness. And because of that, I've realized that, training really does require a balanced approach. And it's that balance that I want to talk about with you today. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and get started with today's webinar by taking a look at the agenda that I have planned for the session to find out what those components are that need to be balanced in our help desk programs. Actually, before we review all of the components, I will give you a brief introduction about the presentation, as well as talking about how I'm going to address varying levels of experience on a help desk, because not everyone comes to a help desk with the same degree of experience. But then we're going to take a closer look at the components that must be balanced in a help desk training program. And here they are. The first one that we're going to talk about today will be technical skills. The second one that we'll talk about is business skills. The third one then that we'll look at is professional skills. And then the last one that we'll talk about is self-management skills. Once we go through those four components, I'm also going to give you an idea of a few other things that you may want to include in a successful help desk training program. And of course, at the end of the program, I will wrap up with a brief conclusion, and we'll follow that up with our question and answer period that Mike had mentioned. So this is really the agenda that I have for today's session. Why don't we go ahead and get started with that introduction? I want to try to take a look at help desk analyst training today from two different perspectives. First, I do want to talk about how we train our new analysts. These are people who are new to the organization, new to the field of help desk, and they really do range from the new hire, someone that we just brought on board to do this job on the help desk, up to someone who's been with us between 3 to 6 months. So one part of the training is how do we focus on this group of individuals. And for these people, the focus is really going to be on skill acquisition. This early on in their career as a help desk analyst does require that they learn a lot about how to do their jobs. So we're going to focus training on giving them the skills that they need to do so. And I want you to kind of think of two key words when we're talking about new analysts. One is learning what they need to know. The second then is applying, taking everything that they have learned through our training program and applying it on the help desk, so applying it to their job. Of course, we also have a whole other set of help desk analysts that we need to address. And these are the people that I'm going to call experienced analysts. And in general, I don't like to do all of these little quotation marks, but I'm trying to emphasize the fact that this doesn't necessarily imply lots and lots and lots of experience, because in the help desk world, it's kind of like dog years to people years. Experience could be from about 6 months to 2 years, and then, of course, beyond. And I do believe that it is important for us to provide ongoing training to these individuals as well, whether they are experienced coming from another employer to us or they're experienced in that they have been with us for a period of time. They still are going to require some additional training, but the focus will be a little bit different. Instead of focusing on skill acquisition, which hopefully they will have since they are experienced, so to speak, we're going to focus more on professional development. How do we make them better at their jobs? How do we make sure that they have all of the professional skills, the technical skills, the self-management skills, and the business skills to continue to do their job on an ongoing basis. For this group, I want to look at two different words. The first is growing. Obviously, they're past a lot of the basic learning stage, and hopefully they have been able to apply that learning on the job. Now what we're trying to do is help them grow in their career. We want to make sure that we give them ongoing skills to enable them to be satisfied with their work environment, and also, and perhaps more importantly, to make sure that they are indeed helping our customers when they call. The second word that I think we need to focus on is mentoring. You know, once you've been on a help desk for a period of time, you often become a mentor to the new analysts. So your experience that you have gained can then be used to help new analysts learn more information and apply it to their job. So you're kind of changing in your role. Yes, you still do the day-to-day where you are answering calls and you're responding to customer requests, but now on the team you have some additional responsibilities. So this is really an idea of how I want to address those 4 skills that we're trying to balance. We're going to talk about all 4 of them from the perspective of the new analyst, and then we'll look at all 4 of them from the perspective of the experienced analyst. And as I said, we're actually going to start with what I would say the most common skill would be on the help desk, and that is the technical skills. Technical skills are things that most people frequently think about when they start talking about how they're going to train their help desk analysts. What are the technical skills that our analysts need to be able to do their jobs effectively? And I know I said that we're going to cover 4 topics, but I'm actually going to take this one and split it. We're going to do 2 different types of technical skills. The first thing that I want to talk about are the technologies that the analysts must support. In other words, when the analysts get calls on the phone, what are the actual technologies that they're supporting? And we need to make sure that our training programs give the analyst the skills to actually support those technologies. But technical skills actually refer to another set of skills. So I also want to talk a little bit about the technologies that the analysts use to provide support. These are the types of things like your ACD system or your telephone system or your call tracking system that the analysts need to use on a day-to-day basis. They're not actually providing support on how to use these. However, they need to use them themselves to be successful. So in order to have a successful training program, we want to make sure that we have a combination of both of these sets of technical skills. So let's take a look at each one of these in just a little bit more detail. First, I want to talk about the technologies that are supported by new analysts. Again, this is that new hire up to 3 to 6 months. And you can see on the slide that I have 2 separate sides that I want to talk about. First, I do believe that all new analysts need to have a baseline set of skills. Now, it is possible that you will hire a new analyst who will already have these skills, whether they got them from another location or they got them through schooling. But it is important that you establish that baseline, that you make sure that they do have a firm understanding of the basics. And what am I really calling the basics? Well, the first thing is, do the analysts have a strong understanding of the operating system that you're using in your environment? And if you are in a multi-operating system environment, do the analysts have the knowledge to support those different versions? For example, if you're in an environment that is using Windows XP, you want to make sure that all of the analysts are able